Just in, South Africa touts Jamaica, joining BRICS. Plus in delight to China's Xi Jinping. Welcome to another insight on international relations, world affairs, and technology. Today we'll focus on the efforts made by South Africa to strengthen its ties with Jamaica and the invitation extended to Jamaica to join BRICS Plus, which has pleased China's President Xi Jinping. It all began when South Africa personally invited Prime Minister Minister Holness of Jamaica to attend and participate in the 10th BRICS Summit. The summit occurred from July 25th to 28th at the SAN International Convention Center in Johannesburg, South Africa. Prime Minister Holness had the honor of being the first head of government from Jamaica and the Caribbean to attend a BRICS summit. The invitation to Prime Minister Holness was extended because of his role as the chairperson of CARICOM, Caribbean Community. In his acceptance letter, Prime Minister Holness expressed his gratitude for the invitation and stated, "I welcome the opportunity to represent the viewpoints of the Caribbean at the conference." At the BRICS Plus meetings, Prime Minister Holness actively participated in discussions, and they explored the idea of a BRICS Plus initiative to strengthen the synergy between South Africa's BRICS chairmanship, regional economic communities, the global community, and the United Nations. South Africa also extended invitations to the presidents of Argentina, Egypt, Turkey, and Indonesia, as well as the Secretary General of the UN, for the BRICS Plus initiative. The sub-theme of the summit, securing sustainable and inclusive development for the prosperity of the Global South, emphasized the importance of BRICS Plus. During his visit to the BRICS member states, Prime Minister Holness also took the opportunity to have private conversations with numerous leaders. The Jamaican government, in support of the developmental bank operated by BRICS, expressed its approval for this initiative. This highlights the commitment of both South Africa and Jamaica to promoting economic development and cooperation within the BRICS framework. South Africa's invitation to Jamaica and the discussions held during the BRICS Summit signify a positive step towards strengthening ties and fostering greater collaboration between the two nations within the BRICS Plus framework. According to Senator Arnold Joseph Nicholson, Jamaica's Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, the establishment of a BRICS bank would bring significant benefits to Jamaica. He recently had a bilateral meeting with Dr. Rob Davies, where they discussed this matter. Both ministers agreed that the BRICS Development Bank is expected to be a significant outcome of the upcoming 5th BRICS Summit, scheduled to take place in South Africa in next year. The BRICS acronym represents the 5 emerging economies: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. They shared the view that the BRICS Bank should play a key role in securing funding for infrastructure and sustainable development initiatives within the BRICS countries, as well as in other growing economies and developing nations, EMDCs. It's important to note that they didn't intend for the World Bank and the IMF to be replaced by the BRICS Bank. Instead, they emphasized that the developmental bank led by the BRICS nations would complement the existing roles of these two organizations. The discussions between the two ministers highlight the potential positive impact of a BRICS bank on Jamaica, particularly in terms of supporting infrastructure projects and sustainable development efforts. They envision the bank as a valuable source of financing for such initiatives within the BRICS countries and beyond, benefiting emerging economies and developing nations worldwide. Overall, Senator Nicholson's remarks and the consensus reached during the bilateral meeting demonstrate Jamaica's interest in leveraging the opportunities presented by the BRICS Bank and its commitment to cooperation with the BRICS nations for mutual development and prosperity. Minister Davies emphasized that South Africa's membership in BRICS holds significance not only for the country itself, but also for emerging markets across Africa. In response, Minister Nicholson expressed Jamaica's satisfaction in establishing a connection with South Africa, highlighting the priority given to the Caribbean Community and Common Market, CARICOM, of which Jamaica is a member. As Jamaica prepares to assume the role of BRICS chairperson in the upcoming year, it is evident that the country is not merely focused on South Africa's historical practices. Rather, Jamaica aims for trade to become more diverse, opening up possibilities for growth and development in both Jamaica and the CARICOM region. Minister Nicholson expressed delight in the opportunities that lay within this category, and acknowledged the positive implications it brings for Jamaica. During his two-day visit to Jamaica, Minister Davies engaged in discussions regarding bilateral commercial relations. Both ministers reached an agreement that a business team from South Africa would visit Jamaica in 2019 as part of the BRICS Plus framework. This framework has played a significant role in fostering strong ties between South Africa and Jamaica in recent years. The exchange between the two ministers highlights the shared commitment to expanding trade, strengthening economic cooperation, and exploring new avenues of partnership between South Africa and Jamaica. It demonstrates the positive outlook of both nations toward the potential benefits that can arise from their collaboration within the BRICS framework and beyond. Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith, the Senator and Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, accompanied the Prime Minister during their visit to the BRICS Summit. The delegation included heads of state and government from BRICS, BRICS Plus countries, and the Secretary-General of the United Nations. The Prime Minister's presence was specifically focused on attending the BRICS plenary session and the BRICS Plus Summit. While many developing countries are currently facing growth challenges, South Africa and the BRICS collectively extended an invitation to Jamaica to join the BRICS Plus framework. However, there have been reports from China indicating concerns raised by President Xi Jinping regarding the progress of BRICS as a whole following the BRICS Summit, where Jamaica was in attendance. Following the summit, the BRICS Policy Center was established through collaboration with partner institutions. This initiative involved exchanging articles and publishing columns on the BPC website. The economic situation of each nation will undoubtedly impact the evolution of the BRICS emerging economies, which comprise Brazil, Russia, India, and China, and South Africa. When the economies of these BRICS countries experience rapid growth, expectations are high. Conversely, when these economies face slower growth, expectations tend to be lower. Currently, China is transitioning from high-speed economic growth to a more moderate pace, while Russia and Brazil are encountering economic difficulties. On the other hand, India has continued to witness relatively significant growth. This analysis emphasizes the dynamic nature of the BRICS economies and how they are influenced by various factors. The concerns expressed by President Xi Jinping underscored the need for collective efforts and strategic measures to address challenges and ensure sustainable growth within the BRICS framework. Some individuals now hold the belief that the BRICS countries have lost their significance in the global economy. However, this conclusion lacks a strategic understanding of the long-term development of BRICS, and instead focuses solely on short-term economic growth trends. It is important to consider that the BRICS nations' share in the global economic space will gradually increase, granting them greater influence over the global economy. This is particularly true as long as their overall economic growth rates surpass the average worldwide rate, especially when compared to developed economies. Notably, China, accounting for over half of the BRICS' total economic output, is expected to sustain a growth rate that exceeds that of developed nations, around 6.5%. Furthermore, India's recent economic development has been robust, contributing to the overall high growth rate of the BRICS countries. By examining economic cycles and commodity price fluctuations, it is unlikely that Russia and Brazil will experience prolonged economic stagnation. It is important to adopt a long-term perspective when assessing the importance of the BRICS nations in the global economy. Despite short-term fluctuations, the collective growth potential and economic influence of the BRICS countries remains significant, paving the way for their continued role as key players in the evolving global economic landscape. It is crucial to recognize that BRICS has evolved beyond being a fleeting economic phenomenon and has assumed a key role in the global economy, politics, and security. Over the years of development, it has become an influential force advocating for more equitable and just economic governance on the global stage. This commitment helps protect the interests of developing nations and emerging economies while contributing to global growth. In addition to its economic influence, the BRICS has also worked to counterbalance the dominance of superpowers in global politics. By voicing concerns about security in sensitive regions, they strive to prevent unilateral military actions and promote regional peace and stability. Although the BRICS countries do not aim to form a formal alliance and lack specific targets, they should not be perceived as loosely organized group. They have made significant strides in institutional development through cooperative initiatives, demonstrating their collective determination to strengthen their impact on the global stage. The BRICS countries have successfully transitioned from a mere economic concept to a formidable force in global affairs. Their focus on economic justice, political balance, and international security showcases their growing influence and commitment to shaping a more inclusive and cooperative world order. The annual BRICS Summit serves as a vital institutional forum for leaders to engage in substantive discussions on significant global issues and coordinate the BRICS development mechanism. This platform allows the BRICS nations to collectively address world affairs and ensure their unique voice is heard and recognized, a voice that cannot be easily replaced. Moreover, there exists strong bilateral cooperation among the 5 nations within the BRICS framework. While the BRICS is still relatively young compared to the more established Group of 7, G7, there is immense potential for further development. It is important for the BRICS countries to enhance their position in global production chains, promote trade liberalization, and deepen economic cooperation among themselves. Urgent issues include expediting bilateral and multilateral free trade negotiations, curbing protectionism, and adopting open-minded trade and investment policies. In the realm of regional security, it is crucial for the BRICS countries to work collaboratively, reaching common positions on regional security issues to foster mutual trust. Promising developments include joint military exercises and expanding security cooperation in areas such as space and the internet, which can contribute to advancing security collaboration in more established domains. Stay updated and informed about the latest developments in the world by subscribing to our channel today. Although the BRICS nations face certain short-term challenges, their future holds great promise. By leveraging their shared ideas, advantages, and visions within the BRICS structure, they can continue to strengthen their political influence. It is imperative for the BRICS countries to actively defend the sovereignty-based international system, engage constructively in regional issues, and enhance cooperation within the United Nations system to further amplify their impact on global affairs. For more videos like this, click on the links popping on your screen.